been a couple days. I haven't done a video, but I am back with another one. I was supposed to be sitting down and talking with my oldest daughter. This dialogue was supposed to be between me and my daughter, this video. But she did not want to be on camera, so I had to respect her wishes. And so this video, what I did was I spoke to my daughter off camera, and we had a conversation. And she's allowing me to put that conversation into a video. So this video will be about how my daughter views me as a mother then, when she was growing up, and now in real time. As if you are watching and you watch the other videos, you kind of know my story already. You know where I come from, a little bit of what I've gone through. I haven't just put my whole life on video. So I've just taken the main things that have stood out in my life and I put it on video. So if you watch those, you know what I've experienced and who I kind of was then and who I am now. I became a single mother at age 18. My daughter is now 22 years old. And it's never hard for me to admit that it was hard being a single mother at 18, and I made a lot of mistakes growing up with a child. So being a child, having a child, growing with your child, I made a lot of mistakes, and I'm never too proud to admit that. So I definitely didn't have the tools that I needed to navigate and maneuver through life that I do have now. So I didn't have the tools that I needed mentally or emotionally to take care of a child. And but I did the best that I could with what I knew and what I had. Just a little description on me as a mother of a young child. So, my daughter is 22 years old now. At her age, I was a mother of a 4-year-old. So I had a 4-year-old at age 22. And, I did what I knew. So I was a screamer. I was a yeller. I was that mother who yelled and screamed a lot. I was very mean. I was very nasty with my words. I was very cold, withdrawn. So saying all that, because I am going to get into the questions I asked her, looking back at who I was then, I was a product of abuse, of emotional, I don't want to say emotional neglect, but I didn't have that growing up, so I didn't have that to give to a child. Everything that I experienced in my life made me a very hard, very cold person, so I shut everyone out. I built walls up around me because everything that was supposed to love me and I loved hurt me. So in order for me not to feel that type of pain and hurt, I just blocked everyone and everything out, including my daughter. So I didn't know how to express emotion that nurturing spirit, that I didn't know how to express love. I'm just going to be very blunt and honest. I didn't know how to express that. So I didn't necessarily, from my perspective, me looking back on myself, I did not show that to her. I was there, but I didn't give her what she needed, which is why I wanted to have the dialogue and the conversation with my daughter, because in recent days, there has been stuff that happened that caused me to have to sit down and speak with her. And you cannot change the past, but I can try and rewrite the future. So with that being said, I don't want to take up so much time just speaking. Some of the questions that I asked her, I'll start with the first question. So the first question that I asked her was, just to describe your childhood. Describe how your childhood was in her perspective. What was it like? How did she feel? And the first thing she said was lonely. When she said that hit so hard. And I told her not to hold anything back, just to not try and spare my feelings. Because anybody who knows my daughter, Mariah, is totally opposite of me. Some of the attributes that she holds within herself are things that I never held at her age. Even going through some of the circumstances that I went through or that I was put in. She is very kind, very compassionate, and very sympathetic. Things that I was not at her age. And so she tries to be like that with everyone. And I told her, hey, when I ask you these questions, don't try and spare my feelings. I need to know exactly how you feel. No matter if you think it's going to hurt me or not, because I need that. I need that in order for me to understand where she came from or what she was feeling at that moment in time. So her first response was lonely. I was there for her physically, but I was emotionally and mentally withdrawn from her. I was always to myself. I was always wanting to be by myself. So looking back then and her saying that she was lonely, I see it. And I hurt. I hurt for her. And I get angry at myself because I know I could have done better and did better. I just didn't know how at that age. I didn't know how. I didn't have the things that I needed to grow and to understand myself. So that hit me when she said that. She also said she was happy when she was with her grandma, which is my mom. She says that because, my mom was able to do things with her, to take her places, to do things with her, the things that I couldn't, because I didn't have the money to do anything. So the things that she wanted to do, my mom was able to do for her. And she was happy those are her happy moments. It's ironic because none of my happy moments are with my mom. So the next question I asked her was, I also apologized. When I'm talking to her and asking her these questions, that first question, I apologized. I had to tell her, you had to understand, her being 22, that age for me, I had a 4-year-old, and I was so mentally messed up. And she understood just by watching my videos and editing. She does the editing on my videos, so she understood. So she didn't kind of know some of the stories I was telling, but she understands now because I didn't really open up and tell her a lot about my background. But I had to apologize and tell her I didn't mean to make her feel lonely or to make her feel alone. When I was there, I just couldn't be there emotionally because I didn't know how. The second question I asked her was, how did she view me as a mother then? What kind of mother was I like to her? She said I was always working, which is true. I am like that today. I'm always working. I'm much better today, but then I was always working, always trying to provide and to pay bills that seemingly can never get paid. She said I had an attitude, and that's very true. I had an attitude. She said that I was very mean. She said I was verbally mean. And I was very mean, ugly person. Being a single mother, a young single mother, having to do it all by herself with no help. You tend to take it out on your children. Whether you mean to or not, you do. And, a lot of us who have come from homes that are poverty-stricken or lacking, you are brought into the world with a lack mindset. So that's what I had. A lack mindset to try and survive, because you're in survival mode at this point. And so the things that you're doing to try and get ahead, to try and live comfortably, sometimes the things that you do hurt the people that you are surrounded by or that you live with and that you love the most. But somehow that doesn't convey because you're in survival mode. And that's what happened. So I was always very snappy, nasty, mean. Everything got on my nerves. Everything. I was so bothered. And so that's how she remembers me. She said I was always to myself. I was always to myself. If we were, we were together, but I would be in my room all the time. And just give her what she needed, but I would head back to my room. I was always to myself, secluded. And you never know then, but that hurts the children that you're supposed to be taking care of, and you're supposed to be bonding with and having that mother-child bond with. That's something that I didn't build with her, because I didn't know how. I asked her if there was anything that she felt I could do better as a mother then. What does she think that I could have done better? And she just said to do things with her, which is understandable. To be there with her, to do things, take her place, like take her, take her out places and stuff that I never really did, I didn't spend time. It's the lack of time spent with her. I asked her if she can go back in time, is there anything that she would like to tell me? Or is there anything that she would like to tell me now? And her response was that she would ask me to tell her I love you more. And that hurt as well. Because being so young and describing myself then, like I said, I shut everyone out. And that love thing was just so non-existent in my life. That I barely told her I loved her. I would on several occasions, but it wasn't how I say I love you to my children now. I barely said I love you. And I think back and it hurts my heart to know that I was that type of person. And I always have to try to forgive myself for the things that I lacked and the mistakes that I made. And it's so hard to face yourself, to sit in the mirror and to forgive yourself. I'm asking for her forgiveness, but I can't even forgive myself. I'm asking her to forgive me for all of the mistakes that I made as a young mother, not knowing or having the emotional ability and mental ability that I needed to be a mother, to be an adult. And she could easily forgive me, and she says she loves me, and I struggle with forgiving myself because I know I can't go back and change the past, but I just wish I could have done things better. Knowing the hurt that I received as a child, I never wanted to give that hurt to my children. I may not have physically abused them, but I was emotionally lacking for her. And that's just as bad. Last question. I asked her, how would she describe me now as a mother? What does she think of me now? She says I'm more interactive. I am more caring, more attentive. She says I'm here and present with them, doing things with them. And she says I'm happy. I like to hear, this is a dialogue that I wish I could have had with her on camera so that you could hear it from her. But this is what I needed, she needed, for us to move forward and to correct and mend the things that we needed to correct in our relationship going forward. And like I said, I'm never too proud or above any type of correction from even children. and it's what I needed, because they teach me something every single day to become better. And this is something that I think is needed for so many people, to take accountability and to sit down and to say, I've made mistakes and I see the mistakes that I've made and I want to correct them, or try to move forward and correct them now. I see a lot of me in her. And I try and sit down and tell her my mistakes, and tell her what I see in her that I did and that she's doing, and she understands, and it's what I think is going to help her grow and to heal her own self, heal the things that she needs healing from, which has a lot to do with me. So I kind of wanted this video to hopefully resonate with people who are trying to do the same thing. Just know that if you're watching this video, this video is not a coincidence. You didn't just land on this video to hear this for no reason. This may be your mission, because I know it's my mission to become better, to become a better woman, a better mother, to right the wrongs. And hopefully, this can reach so many people, to know that just because you run into so many obstacles and you get knocked down time and time again, because Lord knows I've been knocked down my entire life. I've been beaten down and knocked down. But I will never stay down. It's not an option for me to stay down. I'm going to get right back up, and I'm going to keep going, because I know there's going to be another obstacle but now I know how to maneuver and to navigate through this life. It's all about what you do after you get up. That determines who you are. So with that being said, I'm in the video here, and I hope you guys have gotten something from this video. And I just hope everyone receives this with an open heart. And I'm sending you all love and light. Thank you.